But Senator Sifuna, you wanted to clarify on something, but also the focus of the Azimio coalition, with all these challenges that you have faced in making your changes within your leadership, but also how able you are to carry out the mandate of a minority party. Well,
first let me just say that everybody can tell when you're telling the truth. You know, we are endowed with the ability to read each other. As human beings, Sam, you can just tell when somebody is lying to you. And everybody can tell when we're being truthful on this show. But let me focus on the important things. Number one, nobody is obliged to accept an injustice that is open. In fact, they say you are not obliged to respect or to obey an unjust law. When we hear our brothers and sisters on the Kenya Kwanza side pontificate about the rule of law, in fact, Sam, I will take a step further from where my brother Robert Mbui left in terms of fidelity to political parties on which you were elected. It is not just the Political Parties Act that provides for that political hygiene. It's a constitutional principle. Under Article 103, Sabbatical 1E, it is, the principle is founded on this particular article that where a member is deemed, and I have struggled all these years to understand what translations of deemed I can have in Kiswahili so that people will understand what it means. A deeming provision, it doesn't need anything. It doesn't need any proof. If you are deemed to have resigned from the party that you are elected upon, you are supposed to vacate your office as a member of that, as a member of parliament. Number two,
should they challenge that?
This is what I'm saying. It's a constitutional principle. The Political Parties Act, Section 14, that Robert Mbui referred to, flows from this particular provision of the Constitution. Now, Sam, when we see people violate openly, you know, we are not kids. Today you say, for me, my heart is now in Kenya Kwanza. And then tomorrow you want to tell us that I can remain the whip of Azimio. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. You're making a mockery of the entire political structure as set out in the Constitution. Number two, our standing orders are very clear. When Mheshimiwa Mbui is talking about interference of a majority side in the affairs of a minority, he's not lying. If you look at that clip that you played during those proceedings, at the point of adjournment, in fact, it is Honorable Kimani Ichung'wah who walks up to the chair and instructs Wetangula to actually call for an adjournment of 15 minutes. And that is exactly what happens. The clips are there, you can see them. Now, in the Senate, under Standing Order 200 of the Senate Standing Orders, once the minority side communicates to the chair of the Senate Business Committee, who is the speaker, that I have de-whipped so and so from this committee, the speaker, there is no provision within the standing orders for the speaker to entertain any dispute or to take any further steps in that matter, other than to communicate to the chairs of the committees that Sifuna has been de-whipped. Now, what is happening, Sam, please just bear with me, is that even when we wrote a letter as a minority side, the whipping members of Jubilee, who I have demonstrated here, that I am unable to whip as a whip of minority, the speaker has refused to take any steps on that matter because he's saying he has turned himself into a court to hear complaints of members of Jubilee, which essentially is the jurisdiction of the Political Parties Disputes Tribunal. So what we are saying is that let there be respect for the law. If all of us respect the law, you will not see these scenes. But you are not going to trample on my rights. You openly violate the law, the Constitution, the standing orders, and then you say you'll be peaceful. There will be no peace in any of these houses until people respect the law. And I want to encourage members of the National Assembly. That is the only language these speakers understand. If we didn't do that in the Senate, I would not be the deputy whip today. And I want more fire there in the National Assembly. This is the language these people understand. Lastly, Sam, there's a matter that she raised about the position on Jubilee. The last order that was given by the Political Parties Disputes Tribunal recognizes Jeremiah Kioni as the SG of Jubilee right now. And I've asked him to send to me, because I know you will fact check me. I have asked him to send me a copy of that communication so that I show you before the end of the show.
When was that communication, Senator Sifuna?
I have asked him to send me that letter because I have seen it with my own eyes.
Because just hold on. The tribunal decision that I remember seeing was throwing back the dispute to the party.
That was a long time ago. I don't know where you've been. The dispute went to the party. There was an AGM. No, let me tell you, there was an AGM. The resolutions were taken to the registrar. The other side went to court. The court put a hold to that. And then these other guys went back to court. There's a whole file. I think I'll bring you the entire file.
No, Senator
so
Sifuna,
that we are on the same page.
It is not factual to say that...
These are members of my coalition.
By the way.
Senator Sifuna, it is not factual to say that there's a tribunal decision that has said...
No, I am going to... Sam, can I make a commitment?
You can do that.
Because you know me. I don't tell lies. I am going to show you that document.
Yes. To show contrary positions.
I am going to show you that document here, and that is the last and standing position as we speak today.
Please find it, Senator Sifuna. We still have time.